Welcome to today's webinar. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I am Steve from the sales team at Coral Expeditions. I'm thrilled to take you through one of our favourite itineraries, which is exploring the stunning Torres Strait Islands and the remote coastlines leading to the tip of Cape York. Before we do dive in, a quick bit of housekeeping. So this session is being recorded and you'll receive a copy within 24 hours. Feel free to watch it back as many times as you want, or share it with anyone interested in this incredible region. If you do have any questions along the way, just pop them in the chat box and I'll endeavour to answer them at the end of the presentation. So we will kick off with a quick intro to, I guess, who Coral Expeditions is. For those new to our voyages, then we'll jump straight into an amazing itinerary. So let's get started. So relaxed atmosphere with warm Australian hospitality. So Coral Expeditions has been operating for over 40 years now, where we are an Australian owned and flagged company with 3 small ships within our fleet. At Coral Expeditions, we're passionate about the locations we are privileged to visit, and we believe in leaving these environments better than when we arrived. Our voyages showcase the wonders of nature and the health and well-being of both the ocean and land that is the forefront of our minds and integral to the quality of our expeditions. On board our ships, we have an all-Australian crew who are passionate and proud to share each adventure with you. Always attentive and caring with a friendly and approachable style, keeping with our natural Australian style service and values. We were also one of the first cruise operators to employ interpretive guides on our cruises, a tradition that continues today. Each trip includes a mix of our full-time guest lecturers who join the expedition team and special guest lecturers who are chosen for specific local knowledge. Your cruise will be led by a dedicated expedition leader who will work closely with the captain to determine our daily program, ensuring that the best use of time is made given to the prevailing weather and tidal conditions. Your expedition leader will join all shore excursions and activities, provide daily recaps and briefings, and is always on hand to answer any questions. So let's get stuck into it today. So the itinerary that we will be looking at in depth is our Cape York and Arnhem Land trip. It is 11 nights. It does depart Cairns and it finishes up in Darwin. So today we have a huge welcome to Ian Morris, who is one of our longest tenured expedition leaders. So Ian has a wealth of knowledge about Cape York and Arnhem Land. Ian will take us through the different destinations, some information about these destinations, and yeah, just to explain how amazing and unique this itinerary is. We are very lucky to have Ian here today. He's a busy man. So without further ado, Ian, if you're ready, we'll kick off with your presentation.
Let's do it. Okay, well, Lizard Island is one of our first destinations, and all these destinations are dependent on all sorts of conditions, so we can vary them. We have options at different times, but Lizard Island is one we just love. And the image you're looking at there is the very top of the mountain, the highest point on Lizard Island, where Captain James Cook went to find his way out of the reef with his telescope. And so we enjoy going up there, but there's lots of other aspects of Lizard Island. If you're not into climbing steep hills, we visit lots of other beautiful natural places in the time that we have there. So what you can see, I guess, is a place with a great history, both Aboriginal history and then European history. Even a bit of a tragic story about some Trepang gathering people who had a bit of a tragedy there. And some of the bays and places are named after members of that family. But all around Lizard are beautiful reefs with all sorts of things like green turtles and giant clams and wildlife that are not disturbed by humans, so they're friendly. And when you snorkel and swim around, you can get right up close to all these different things, and that's what our guests really like. Next. Okay, and we get the opportunity from time to time to go right out to the very edge of the Barrier Reef to Osprey Reef. And that's right on the drop-off where it drops down into deep ocean from the reef itself. And it's a stunning place to see that reef edge with all its colour. The water out there is crystal clear, so when you're snorkeling or diving, it's stunning. We also go to in the same area, but further inland on the main reef itself, Stanley Island, which was once part of the Great Dividing Range until the last sea level rise. They reckon stabilised about 4,500 years ago and turned this island into Stanley Island into an island from part of the Cape York mainland. So it's just like it's a high island or a continental island as we describe them. The traditional owner, who's in the right hand image there, Danny Gordon, he's from the clan that looks after Stanley Island and a number of other places on the mainland. And he just loves sharing his cultural knowledge with our guests. And we walk up to these big art galleries, overhangs of sandstone, where Danny explains all the intricacies of the art there. And some of the art even has, sort of versions of people like Matthew Flinders, who visited the place, first European sailors who came into those areas. Their various vessels have been recorded in the rock art on Stanley Island, and Danny's able to sort of explain a bit about these. So in terms of Australia's human history, places like Stanley are really important, and our guests just love it for that reason. Next. All right. And going further north from Stanley, Forbes Island and Piper Islands. In the previous one, off Stanley Island, is Davy Cay, which we go to sometimes. If it's a nice calm sea, we'll do snorkeling on the reef at Davy Cay. Then we go up to Forbes Island and the nearby Piper Islands, where there's a lot of wildlife, a lot of breeding birds, things like Torres Strait pigeons and many kinds of seabirds. In that photo, the gentleman's got a hatchling turtle on his hand. We see a lot of turtle nesting, tracks of adults and tracks of the little hatchlings when they come out, especially in the Piper Islands. So they're just great representatives of what used to be Cape York mainland, now surrounded by the ocean with the highest sea levels. And these islands are great breeding places for many, many birds. Okay. Next. Okay, so when we get right up to the top of Cape York, we do a couple of things. Firstly, we visit the very northernmost part of the Australian mainland, the Cape itself. We often have sunrise or sunset toasts there, and it's part of the bucket list of a lot of our guests to be on that very northern part of Australia. Just ahead of the people there, you can see one of the two islands that are just off Cape York. And when we've celebrated being the most northerly Australians, we go across to Thursday Island, which is only about 35 k's away. And there we see virtually the capital of the Torres Strait, this wonderful little high island with quite a large community on it, with a lot of history. And there we get to do bus tours with local guides who tell us all about the history of the town and so on. And we get to see, once we get up there, we just seem to get these beautiful sunsets and sunrises. So that photo on the right-hand side just shows you some of the scenes that we see at the beginning and the end of the day up in that area. Next. Okay, so once we've rounded Cape York and moved up into the islands above it, Torres Strait is another world. Melanesian culture, all sorts of amazing people there, quite different from our mainland Aboriginal people, but in other ways they're closely linked, but very distinctive cultural people. So they always welcome us with cultural dances when we get there, and what you're looking at there is Bardu Island, which is round about the centre of the Torres Strait, one of the many islands there. And those people really enjoy us arriving, welcome us, and then we are able to have a look at a lot of their arts and crafts. They've got art centres there. And yeah, we really have become part of their economy, I guess, Coral, and they really enjoy us coming there. Next. So once we've done Cape York and the Torres Strait, we then move across the Gulf of Carpentaria. That usually gives us a free day at sea. And finally, we come across the eastern point of the Northern Territory, which is East Arnhem Land. And the first port of call is a wonderful Aboriginal community called Yirrkala, and they're Yolngu people there. And again, they have one of the most stunning art centres you could ever imagine. So we get to go to their art centre and learn about their culture and their art. And we have opportunities to buy really, really good original art from the artists themselves. Then after that, we move further east along the Arnhem coastline, and we get to what they call the hole in the wall. And it's a gap in the Wessel Islands. When the tides and currents are right, we take our ships through this very narrow gap between this about 100 nautical miles of sandstone islands, which stretch away north towards New Guinea from the Arnhem coast. And so we can sneak through the middle of those at the hole in the wall. Its proper name is Murrinduna. The Aboriginal people who live there call it Murrinduna. And again, we see pristine coastline. And we get to do beach walks and sometimes have sunset drinks on the beaches there. And the Wessel Islands is something most Aussies never heard of, let alone visited. So it's another one of the special places we get to. Then at the very bottom of the Wessel chain is Elcho Island, which is a very famous community. It's now, I think, the largest Aboriginal community of Arnhem Land. And there's about 4,000 people live there. And again, we get to see one of the bigger communities of Arnhem Land. And again, we can get to walk to their art centres. Depending on what day we get there, we sometimes can visit the school or take a walk up to their trade store, meet the locals, spend a bit of time there. Often, again, cultural dances are held for us. And sometimes we invite the adults and the kids aboard our vessel, and they have a look at how we live and so forth. We do a bit of sharing. So it's a sort of happy place, Elcho Island. Next. Right. So finally, we get across the Arnhem Land coast from the easterly point to the westerly point of Arnhem Land, and that's called the Cobourg Peninsula. And on the Cobourg Peninsula was, back in 1839 to 1848, was a British settlement. Now, the settlement failed for lots of reasons, but we get to visit that old settlement where they had all these Cornish stonemasons who built, you can see the chimneys in the photo on the right-hand side, who built a lot of the buildings there. And they're what remain of the settlement. And so we walk through this old settlement and look at the old buildings that are left behind. And we hear the stories of what took place in that era and why these settlements failed and so forth. It's all in natural bushland. And again, it's another unique point to visit. Next. Okay, moving around the Cobourg Peninsula from Victoria Settlement down towards Darwin, we come to the Tiwi Islands, which are very large islands separated by a narrow strait. And we generally get to go to what they call Wurrumyanga on Bathurst Island. That's the Tiwi name for the community, Wurrumyanga. And again, the people there, they're quite unique as far as our Australian Aboriginal people go, quite different from the mainlanders, very proud of their differences, and they spend quite a bit of time explaining why they are unique. In the middle photo there, a lady is putting leaves from the ironwood tree onto hot coals, which make sort of fragrant smoke, and then they welcome us with those smoky leaves. and drive away any bad spirits and help us to enjoy their culture. So that's one of the great things, the welcoming ceremony on the Tiwi Islands. The picture on the left shows a famous Tiwi Islander from the Second World War who arrested some Japanese pilots who were bombing the community and crashed their plane, and he marched them in at spear tip and gave them to the Australian Army. And so there's lots of stories, both traditional and modern. And the little fellow on the right-hand side, he likes to dance for us. That's his mother painting him up ready for our welcoming ceremony when Coral Expeditions arrives on the shoreline there. The next one.
Well, Ian, that leads us to Darwin, ending up in Darwin, I gather. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining us. It's really good to have someone with your wealth of knowledge, and we're very lucky to have you on this presentation today. So, I deeply want to say thank you for joining us, and thanks for your insights. It's been really good.
My pleasure, my pleasure. And Darwin's my hometown, and I know the coral guests love it when they get there. There's so much to see, but I won't bore you with all those details right now. Thank you.
All good. Thanks, Ian. Much appreciated. So, guys, we're just going to continue on with a little bit more information about our ships and our experiences. So, our experience when you cruise with Coral, it is all inclusive. So you'll experience an all-inclusive product. Your cruise fare does cover everything that matters most. So it includes excursions, which we try to do 2 per day. All the activities, meals and drinks. Obviously, our expert guides and our expedition leaders, as you just saw from Ian then, includes all taxes and fees. You basically unpack once and then simply relax and enjoy the experience. So our small ships are purposely built for the remote tropical regions of Australia and beyond. Featuring stabilizers, a shallow draft and high maneuverability, we can actually navigate shallow reef systems, rivers and shores. So those harder to reach places that other bigger ships cannot get to. Our unique explorer tenders provide guests access to nature with comfort and ease. With fewer than 120 guests. So 120 guests is our maximum capacity. 72 on our smaller ship, which is Coral Discover, which this itinerary will have. We ensure an intimate and immersive expedition without overwhelming any of the communities we visit. We really want to look after the places that we do venture to. So this is her, Coral Discoverer. So she's a 72 passenger ship. She's got 36 staterooms. She has 1 explorer tender, which I'll explain those in a little bit more depth shortly, and 3 zodiacs. Okay, so Coral Adventurer has recently had a makeover. So this is what she looked like before. As you can see, some of the colours are a little bit dated. She is an older ship. However, we have changed that completely and she looks amazing now. So, for example, this is the top bar. So the bar at the top of the ship, beautiful bar, as you can see. We've got the bridge deck lounge on the top right. So with the makeover, she does have new staterooms. We have now put a minibar fridge in all of the staterooms. She's had a full bathroom refit for every room. The purser desk has changed. The dining room has been updated. The bar has been fancified. And the bridge deck lounge and open bridge hallways have all been updated, which is great. Okay, just some more images here. What's really interesting with this ship as well, so the carpets of every room is actually they're actually inspired by Indigenous artwork. So you look at the floor and you'll understand what I'm saying by that, because they do look like Indigenous paintings. And as you can see, even in that bathroom image, it really has been updated to high quality. This is where we eat down in the main dining room there. And as you can see, the bar's been updated too. Quickly take you to our safari jeeps of the sea. So these are our explorer tenders. So on the larger ships, we do have 2 explorer tenders. On our Discoverer, we have the 1. So we all fit on the 1 tender. So as you can see on the back of the ship, there is a big hydraulic system. So when we're not using the tenders, the explorer tenders will sit on the top of the ship. However, what happens is that when we are ready to go on an expedition, The tender will actually lower down to deck level. You will be able to walk straight onto the tender, and then it will be lowered straight into the water. So literally walking straight on, and then you're on your way. Really unique, and it is one of a kind, especially for us. In this image, so this just gives you a bit more in-depth information of what we've got. So our communication system for safety and connection to the ship is top quality. Our PA system, so you can hear everything from the expedition leader or any safety advice, you'll be able to hear that clearly. We do have kind of shades that do roll down if the weather does turn a bit, or whether it's really hot or it's raining. So we do have that protection as well. Seats are extremely comfortable, which is great. What we do, we have I should say, we have a toilet on board, which is extremely unique, which allows us to go further up rivers and lakes and whatnot without the need to turn back, because we do have the shade as well. We do have the zodiacs as well. However, there's no shade on the zodiacs and obviously no bathroom. So if we were to use solely those for longer trips, it just wouldn't work too well. So we're really happy that we've got this product with Coral. It does have a shallow draft, so it is a flat bottom boat. And at the front of the actual vessel, there is a ramp that goes straight down, so which helps our clients get on and off, especially for beach landings. So we do take you closer. We do have Zodiac tenders, as I mentioned. So we have the inflatable Zodiacs, which provide another exciting and flexible option for shore excursions and navigating through narrow inlets and waterways. So you'll take a ride on the Zodiac to explore the vibrant islands up close as you soak in the panoramic views, as you can see in this image here. Our Zodiacs are also used for diving excursions by the crew to meet our local officials, and when planning shore excursions and activities, and obviously for safety watches and whatnot. So to wrap up, from humble beginnings on the Great Barrier Reef over 40 years ago, we have taken our unique style of Australian expedition cruising to the far-flung lands of the Kimberley, Tassie, small islands of Raja Ampat and Papua New Guinea as well. Wherever we do go, we have one purpose. That one purpose is to take small groups of like-minded explorers to the most remote parts of the world with expert guidance and warm Australian hospitality. That is the end of our presentation today. So I do thank you all for attending. If you do have any questions, obviously you can ask them in the chat and we'll try to answer those. You can send through to our explore@coralexpeditions.com. And if you do want to inquire about making a booking or have any questions, you can call our reservations phone line, which is 07 4040 9999. Or if you do have a travel agent, please go to your preferred travel agent and they can get all the information for you as well. Thank you so much, guys, and have a fantastic day.